The mantra has always been in the PE world, the VC world, that invest in the team before the idea, because it's the actual team that's going to execute, right? You have to have both, but the team is so important. The people are so important. I would love to, especially with your PE background, I would love to get your perspective running a company, being in a PE world for so long, on the importance of high performance teams, the importance of people, how we attract those people, how we retain those people, and ultimately, how do we sell the business based on what those people have accomplished?
Yeah, so I've got a couple lenses on that one. When I was in PE, I worked at a firm that definitely had that perspective. So within the private equity landscape, there's all kinds of different types of firms with different types of strategies. Just because a PE firm has money, they actually oftentimes operate very differently. So on the value added spectrum, is on the far right side, that is high value add. We bring not only money to the equation, but we bring a team of former CEOs, former executives that know your industry, and we're going to come in and basically have a 90-day plan of revamping the way you've done your business and really help change the trajectory of it with a group of folks that can help influence that trajectory. That would be like a Bain Capital. We are experts. We can help you with a playbook. There's a lot of firms on that side of the spectrum. On the completely other side of the spectrum is the firm I came from, which is Leonard Green and Partners, where our very outspoken strategy was we don't bring any value add except for we can help you with financing it better. We can help you with strategy, but ultimately you built a great business and we're just going to get out of your way. We're going to make sure that we team up with you and you do what you do well. We'll help augment that with either a mergers and acquisition strategy to help out in that regard, or we will help you with making sure that your balance sheet's in a really good spot. We'll help with all the stuff that is inorganic versus you know how to build this business organically, and we're never going to tell you how to do your job because you know it better than we do. So with that type of mindset, finding the right team was imperative. So another value-added firm, the team is somewhat important, but quite frankly, you feel like you can parachute a team and do it better than the incumbent team. For Leonard Green, it was imperative to find the right management team to make sure that we understood how they do things. And that's part of the underwriting process, is underwriting the team. So that was in PE. When I took over Genea, very different exercise. Genea, when I first took it over, had good technology, but was basically bankrupt as a company and had to go rebuild it from scratch. So team was very interesting at the very beginning because, quite frankly, you can only afford to hire a certain level of talent. And it wasn't necessarily the folks that we ultimately wanted to bring on board, but it's what you couldn't afford at the time. So I had to be much more of a hands-on CEO, and I had a bunch of doers around me, and I couldn't really leverage a group of partners that are experts in being ahead of a operations team or a marketing team or a sales organization. I had to basically do the best I could with common sense and really hire people to go do the day-to-day, but there was not a lot of other leaders around my executive table that I can lean on who could help guide strategy. I had to really dictate it out of the box. And then over time, as we've matured as a business and we've had financial success, then we could start bringing in the next layer of talent, people that had been former managers, and then ultimately people that have been C-suite. So it's mid-level folks and then other executives. And that's where we are right now. So I think with different lenses through my career, I've had to look at talent in a much different way.
So let me ask you then, those are both different ends of the spectrum with one common goal, whether it's a team on the far right, like you said, that we're the experts in the private equity company, we have our playbooks, this is how that it gets done because we're the team that knows how to run the business. On the other end, it's we're going to turn it over to you. You're the experts in your business. Both of those are a people-driven strategy, right? Just coming at it from different lenses. Where do you land now? Now that you're actually running the business, where's your point of view? Where's Michael's point of view?
Yeah, so where we are right now, we built our business to a point where I can afford to bring in amazing talent. So what we're doing right now is disrupting the smart building automation space. So that's not only financially can we go attract very qualified people, but the story, the mission that we're on is really, really attractive. And when we kind of walk people through what we're doing now, people want to be a part of it. So it's a really good place to be, because when I looked at hiring a head of operations a year and a half ago, we had over 4,000 applicants. When we were bringing that head of marketing, we had over 2,500 applicants. Part of it is the story, part of it is our comp is very competitive, and part of it is we do operate with a remote, flexible, high work-life balance approach. So those are hard to come by, especially as a lot of companies are driving folks back into the office. We've actually been highly productive and continue to really excel as an organization remotely. Now, there are some trade-offs that I'm very mindful of in that dynamic. Is being remote, it's hard to make sure that you have team chemistry. And so we have to be very intentional about that, making sure that we get people together on a regular basis so that we do have that level of face-to-face time and water cooler talk and just bonding. But it's kind of the best of both worlds. If you can really maintain that balance, then I'm not just limited to hiring the best individual that happens to live within driving distance to an office in Orange County. I can look at it from a national perspective, or in some cases, a global perspective of going and getting the best talent.